How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka for our Saw review video for today. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2023 spy action film, and this is the 7th installment of this famous spy series. And as you guys can tell from the title of this video, of course, I'm here to review Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, this is directed by McQuarrie, who directed the last two Mission Impossible films, which were, of course, Rogue Nation and Fallout. And so he has now come to make the newest installment of the series. And so the story of the film is that Ethan Hunt, once again played by Tom Cruise, and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. So that's pretty much the whole plot synopsis I can pretty much say for Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, this was another one of my most anticipated movies of this year. Like, I was so hyped for Dead Reckoning Part 1. And when it comes to the whole Mission Impossible franchise itself, I am a massive fan of this series. Like, I really enjoy the series a lot. It is definitely one of my favorite spy series since the James Bond series. I've enjoyed pretty much every single one of these movies. Like, the first movie, which started it all back in 1996, it's definitely a great start to a new series of spy films. The second movie, Mission Impossible 2, however, it's definitely my least favorite of the series, but I don't hate that film because there are some moments I like in that film, and while there certainly are issues with that film, but it's not a bad film. But the third movie, Mission Impossible 3, I thought was a much improvement over the second movie, but I didn't think it was as better than the first film, even though I still really enjoyed the third movie. But when Ghost Protocol came out back in 2011, that was even better than the first three films. I thought that film was loads of fun. It was really exciting, and it was definitely one of the best spy action films I've seen of the last decade. And when Rogue Nation came out back in 2015, I thought that one was even better than Ghost Protocol, and it was definitely another great spy action film of the last decade as well. And when the last film came out, which was Fallout back in 2018, which I remember seeing that movie in the cinemas when it came out, I had a lot of fun with that film. It's by far my favorite of the series, and I do think that one's even better than Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol. And so once I saw the trailers for this new entry to the Mission Impossible series, I was immediately pumped for it because, you know, like I said, I'm a massive fan of the series, and I am a massive fan of Tom Cruise myself. And this film came out just last month and around the globe. It came out on the 12th of July, and I went to see this just a couple of days after it was released because I was busy with work and all that. And for the screen that I was in, there was quite a lot of people on the screen that I was in, but it really wasn't much of a full house though. But after watching this whole movie, I can definitely tell you guys that this one managed to not disappoint me yet, because I definitely had a lot of fun with Dead Reckoning Part 1, and I thought this film was generally fantastic here. For Tom Cruise's performance as Ethan Hunt in this movie, he is, of course, once again, fantastic here in this movie. And, of course, when it comes to him doing his stunt work here, they are indeed really insane, but yeah, they are really exciting to watch here. And as for everyone else who are in the film, which you've got Hayley Atwell, who is a new addition to the series, I thought she was terrific in the film, and her interaction with Tom Cruise in this movie I really liked for the most part here. And you've got Simon Pegg, who was in the previous films. He's once again fun here in this film. Rhames was also great as well, like he was in the previous films. And Rebecca Ferguson, who was in the last two films, she was terrific here once again. She was also a badass as well. And Vanessa Kirby, who was in the last film, I thought she was great once again. And Klementieff, who of course you may know this actress from the MCU as Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, in which she's also a new addition to the series. I thought she was also a badass as well. And as for everyone else who were in this movie, I thought they were all terrific here for the acting talent here for the most part. And when it comes to the action scenes, they are really breathtaking yet so amazing here, from the amount of stunt work, mostly from Tom Cruise, which, of course, there's one breathtaking moment when it comes to him doing his stunt work, which, of course, as you would have seen from the trailers, is where we see him on his motorcycle and he rides off a cliff, which, you know, that scene was just absolutely amazing, yet absolutely breathtaking to watch. And when it comes to the direction by McQuarrie, he did a terrific job directing this film here, because it is so incredible here, from capturing every single action-packed moment in this film, from the way he did his work on the camera, as well as the style he was going for here, which I thought every single moment of the action scenes here were absolutely amazing, and yet absolutely realistic here. And when it comes to the story for the film, I thought it was well written here for sort of a conclusion to this exciting franchise here, and it was also well written as well for the characters as well. And when it comes to the pacing for the film, I thought it was smoothly well paced here, despite the film being very long here, because this is in fact the longest movie, the series, in which this one is 2 hours and 43 minutes, and there was never a single problem with its runtime. I thought the runtime was perfect enough, and there was never a moment that made me lose interest in the slides or anything like that, because throughout most of the film I was just mostly on the edge of my seat and just overall having a blast with this new entry to the series. And I've got no single flaw to pick out with this film other than that Dead Reckoning Part 1 I thought was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's definitely another fantastic entry to the Mission Impossible series here. Although I don't think this one I don't think this one's a bit better than the last film, Fallout, but I still really love this movie here. And of course, if you are a massive fan of the series like I am, or you're a fan of Tom Cruise or anyone else really, this is one you don't want to miss out for yourselves here. And if it is still playing at a local cinema near you, I highly recommend you see this one with either your best friends or your family. So that's pretty much all to say about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'm going to give Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 5 out of 5. Yep, like I said, not a single flaw to pick out with this movie, because I in fact loved every single moment throughout the entire film here. And I really can't wait for Dead Reckoning Part 2 next year. I'm hoping that one won't disappoint, but we'll see what happens next year. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for my ACAF I Saw review on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a blast with this, or you're very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Ferguson's Media Corner signing off.